Hey, and welcome back to Worlds Collide. It's been a while since the last time I uploaded an episode, but this is the first episode of season 2. My name is Victoria, and I'm your host. In this season, I talk to different guys from different places in different places with different backgrounds. And there is also a special episode. And then there is another one where I revisit a friend or guest from season 1. And yeah, I wanted to see how his journey turned out. And let's just say very different than he thought. But yeah, this will stream in a few weeks. So let's first talk about this episode today. Same as in the first episode of the last season, this is a Germany-Canada story, but this time it's the other way around, from Canada to Germany, with a long stopover in Turkey. This is Dean's story. Dean was an actor in Canada, and he is also a self-published author. And of course, we talk about his books and where you can find them. There is a link in the show notes for Amazon where you can, of course, then buy his books. But yeah, first, let's hear his story and how he ended up in Germany. Here it is. Welcome, Dean. Okay. Where are you calling from?
From my office.
Okay, and where is that?
I'm in Freiburg, Germany.
Oh, you're in Freiburg.
Ja, I'm in Freiburg, ja.
Aha, sehr schön.
It's badisch.
Sehr badisch. Nice little creeks through the town.
Yeah, it is really a beautiful little city. I have to say, like there's a lot of green. And like you say, the creeks running through. I like to ride my bike along the creeks and stuff. It's pretty awesome. I can't believe we got this place.
How did you end up in Freiburg?
Okay, well, since we are recording, I'll tell you the whole story. Well, not the whole story. No, I was living in Turkey with my wife and son, and my wife had completed a PhD there in Turkey, but she was thinking that it wasn't really as valuable as a PhD from another place, from another country.
Okay.
Actually, she finished the PhD and she started looking for postdoc kind of positions, opportunities. And we almost ended up in Missouri.
Oh, in Missouri.
Which, would have been interesting. But at the same time, there was a bit of a pullback, I guess, of funding for a lot of research. And she got this offer to do a PhD in Germany through a European Union council kind of a thing.
Okay.
And what they were doing is they were taking people from other countries, bringing them to the EU, and having them do a PhD.
So is your wife also, I don't even know where you're from the US?
Hell no. I'm not from America.
Where are you from?
I'm from Canada, man.
Oh, you're from Canada. I don't hear the accent. I'm from Germany.
I know, but where?
I'm calling from Texas. I know. Was not my first choice. We somehow ended up in Austin.
Oh, okay. Well, good place to end up if you're going to be in Texas, I think.
For Texas, it's, I think, the best place to be, yeah.
I would think so. From what I've heard, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a fun place, yeah.
But where in Germany?
I'm originally from like the Sauerland area, like close to the Ruhrgebiet, Dortmund.
Oh, okay. Well, our first city in Germany was Göttingen.
Yeah.
And that's where my wife did her PhD, actually there and Copenhagen.
Oh, very
And
nice.
yeah, it was pretty interesting. She had to spend half of her time. She didn't spend half of her time there. She spent about 6 months there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But she had to spend part of her time studying there, and the rest of the time in Georg Augustus in Göttingen.
Mm-hmm.
So so yeah, I said, if I can do 9 years living in Turkey, I can do 3 years in Germany, no problem.
Yeah.
And so we came, and she finished her PhD there, and we were thinking that we were going to stay there because there were some things happening at the university there, and it looked like she was going to have a chance to do that, and then that rug kind of got pulled out from under our feet.
Oh.
And
Mm-hmm.
but we had already decided to stay in Germany for our son's education, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's now 15, but he was 10 when we first got here.
Okay.
So we thought, it's a good education system. He can go to German university for basically free,
Yeah.
get a good education. And so we decided that we were going to stay, and we had even decided that, Göttingen's okay. I mean, it's a really nice city.
Yeah.
Small, but we thought, well, we can travel to the sun because there's not very much
Yeah.
there,
No,
right?
there's not.
So we can travel to the sun,
Yeah.
and then the excuse me, and then the opportunity at the university dried up. So
Okay.
we were like, okay, well, we do want to stay in Germany. So if we were going to stay in Germany, where would we want to stay?
Yeah.
And the top of the list was Freiburg.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And as it turned out, she got a job in Freiburg.
Okay, and why was it Freiburg? Because of the jobs, or did
No,
you like the city, or?
for us, we liked the city. We visited here. We liked the city. We knew people from down here in this
Mm-hmm.
area, and actually, we met people from all over Germany, students and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
it just seemed like it was the best climate, best
Yeah.
location generally,
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing, with good schools, and it's a university town also, and
Mm-hmm.
but the proximity to the Alps and France and
Sure.
Italy, and
Yeah,
so
everything's very close. Yeah.
yeah, so so we thought, we'll go there, we'll do that. And then when my son, he's now, like I say, he's 15, so he's in 10th grade, so he's got
Mm-hmm.
3 more years here.
Yeah.
After that, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure where we'll be located, but I used to have this fantasy. I call it a fantasy now because it was a goal back then, but now it's a fantasy
Mm-hmm.
of living half the year in Canada and half the year somewhere warm. So like
Okay.
in Canada, we call them snowbirds. They fly south for the winter usually,
Oh, okay. Sure. Uh-huh.
and so that was what I was thinking. And now, after living here for a few years, I can see living here in the summer and going somewhere from here in the wintertime.
Okay, not going back to Canada.
Yeah, well, it's harder to go back, Victoria, because it's really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Wages have not kept up with inflation there,
Mm-hmm.
and most people are month to month, paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah.
and living on their credit card too, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's and it seemed to me, we were just there in the summertime. We were there. My son and I went for 3 weeks, and it seemed to me like there was less to like about it
Oh,
than there used to be.
okay. Is it because now you're used to used to the other countries, or why do you
Well,
think so?
yeah, I mean there are lifestyle things that
Mm-hmm.
I find more comfortable here than there.
Mm-hmm.
They have I think, a really strong work-life delineation here in Deutschland.
Mm-hmm.
It's like work happens during work hours, not after. They don't do overtime. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
my wife does in the research business. They do
Okay.
overtime, but they bank the hours, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But here, it's like if it didn't get done today, it'll get done tomorrow. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and Canada is a little bit more like the United States, where it's always drive, 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 go, 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 bigger, better, faster, more, more,
Yeah.
more, kind of thing. And it's a struggle for most people. I mean, I saw family and friends and thought, I mean, they're getting by, they're happy, they're comfy, but it's not the best of ways to go.
It's always working is in the back of your mind, because like even at home you
Always,
can never really
right?
rest. Your phone rings
Yeah,
and like, okay, I gotta check an email,
yeah,
even if it's like 10 p.m. or something. Yeah.
yeah. And in Germany, it's like the end of work day, everything is shut off. That's it.
Yeah.
And Friday, that starts at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Good where you are.
You know, but I mean, it's great, right? It,
Uh-huh.
it's
Oh,
it's a proper way to look at work life balance and
yeah.
actually have some balance there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you work as?
I work as a teacher.
Uh-huh.
I'm also a writer. I've
Oh, cool.
published one book, but
Mm-hmm.
isn't that what we started talking? No, we didn't start talking about that. That's right.
No.
Um, yeah, I've published one, self-published, my first novel.
Cool.
I'm finishing the second one now,
Oh, wow.
part of a series. But
Mm-hmm. Nice.
yeah, I I work as a teacher. I teach
As the
English.
You just teach English at a
Yeah,
school, or
no, business English, business
okay,
English.
business English. Okay.
Yeah, no,
So for adults.
it's
Uh-huh.
usually I say usually the students are a little bit more motivated
Uh-huh.
than they are in middle school when I taught before.
I would hope so.
You know, well, and they're paying for it. Actually,
Exactly.
most of my students are, the company pays for it.
Yeah.
So um, in some cases for them, it's like an hour and a half off every week. But for the most part, people want to improve. They took part because they want
Mm-hmm.
to improve their English. So
And when you moved there, could you already start working? I mean, I was
yes,
just asking about the papers.
yeah,
So your
because
wife's.
my wife was coming here as a student, but as an employee, really, because it's a PhD. So it's not
Uh-huh.
like she was coming here to do a bachelor's or a master's.
Yeah.
It was a salaried
Yeah.
position. And so we came, and as the family, we came, and in fact, like we were kind of laughing about it in the beginning because the law stipulates that she, as a student, can only work, I think it was like 200, 200 days of the year. I think she
Okay.
was allowed to work as a student. But I was allowed to work 24/7. They told
Okay, yeah.
us.
Okay. Well, that's good. So at
Yeah,
least you could provide.
yeah. But she got paid for her work at the
Mhm.
university, and yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's just depends. Every country is different, I think. When the whole family comes over, and all the visas are different, so I wasn't
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and too, we were a Canadian, and well, my son's Canadian. He's dual citizen, but my
Uh-huh.
wife's Turkish. So
Oh, your wife is Turkish. Okay. Is
yeah,
this why
so
you weren't this is why you were in Turkey in the beginning?
No, but that's why I stayed in Turkey. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I okay, here's the other long story.
Uh-huh.
I worked in the entertainment business for about 20 years or so
Okay.
uh, in Canada. And my mom was getting to retirement age, and I wanted to buy a house for her.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the bank and I gave them all of my tax receipts and said,
Yeah.
"This is what I made." And they said, "Yeah, you make enough money. The problem is that you have 14 different employers, and that doesn't look like a steady job to us."
Ah, I see.
Yeah, because I'd go from I was working as a performer and a technician,
Uh-huh.
so I'd be maybe in a play for 2 months here
Sure.
and working on a film for 2 months there and
Yeah.
2 weeks on a concert and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I had all of these. They're T4 slips in Canada. Your employment record,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, "Yeah, no, we just want to see a steady job."
Yeah, steady income, yeah.
So I told my mom, and she said, "Why don't you go teach? Why don't you go teach English? Take one of those training courses and go teach English because you're a teacher." That's that's what she told me. I didn't realize
Okay.
it at the time, but and I thought, you know what, that could be all right for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So I told myself I was taking a 5-year hiatus from the business
Mm-hmm.
when I was going to go and explore the world and teach English and develop new skills and learn about cultures and travel and have adventures
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of thing. And so my first country was Turkey that I went to,
Okay.
and I went to a more conservative city my
Right.
first
Okay.
year that I was there, but I traveled around a lot
Uh-huh.
and I saw a lot of the country and I saw places that
Mm-hmm.
yeah I could live here. I could do another year here or something like that. And Izmir, Turkey was the city that I had decided that I was going to go
Yeah.
to. And so I went to Izmir before I finished the school year, the first year, and found some work. Had a couple of offers, chose one, and was supposed to start in September that year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went home for the summer and waited for the paperwork and waited and waited and waited. And they didn't have anything. And then they changed the general manager. And then things weren't sure. And then, it was all this for a long time.
Uh-huh.
So January rolls around. Oh, I
Okay.
forgot to tell you the best part though. After that first year, when I went back to the bank, I had a contract for the next year and they gave us a mortgage.
Oh,
I was making about 1/3 of what I had
okay.
made the year before.
Oh, but just
It was a
that counted.
contract,
They want
a
okay.
steady job, right?
Steady job, yes.
So
They want security.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was got the mortgage, great, okay.
Good.
Um,
Yeah, for your mom. Yay.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked out pretty well. And
Uh-huh.
then waiting for the next contract to come, the fall passes, and they don't have a real answer for me. Every time I try to communicate with them, they don't have a
Mm,
real answer for me.
getting stressful?
Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
we had the new house and there was work to do, so I was busy. I was doing stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
was put a new roof on the place and fix the garage and stuff. Right, always things to do. And about January, I thought, okay, well, these guys, maybe I can't count on them.
Yeah.
So I should start looking again. So I
Yeah.
started looking, and who posted an ad but the people that I had signed a contract with? And they mentioned that they have all of these branches all over Turkey, including Izmir.
Uh-huh.
So I contacted them and I said, yeah, I saw your posting there. And in fact, I'm supposed to be there in
Yeah.
in Izmir
Uh-huh.
working, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready. And they're
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, we'd love to work with you. Come on over.
What was the issue? I mean, isn't
Well,
it kind of weird?
yeah, but in Turkish they have an expression,
Mm-hmm.
Burası Türkiye. This is Turkey.
Okay, so
And so
it's
anytime one of those kinds of things comes up, people go, Burası Türkiye.
yeah,
Ne
okay, it
yapayım?
just
What am I
happened.
going to do?
That's how it went. Okay.
Yeah. What am I
Whatever.
going to do? Ne yapayım?
Well, they're glad
What
you're
can I do?
here.
Yeah, except for 2 weeks into my stay, like I showed up and the manager was like, oh, it was a different general manager. Not the owner, the guy that I signed the
Mm-hmm.
contract with, the guy
Uh-huh.
who
Okay.
owns all of these schools, right? He was from Istanbul. But I meet the new manager and he's like, great to have you on. He said, well, this week you can observe some of the classes. Next week we'll get you into classes because they didn't have
Mm-hmm.
anything organized, right? So I started in and was working with the other teachers and I started to do some classes, and I think it was almost the end of the second week when the general manager told me that the owner guy, actually no, sorry, it wasn't the general manager, it was the director of foreign personnel
Okay.
or something like that, calling
Mm-hmm.
from Istanbul, and he said, yeah, we want to talk to you about your contract, and because now it's technically supposed to expire in June, right?
Uh-huh.
So 6 months from, well,
Okay.
5 months by the time I got there, it was February. So they said, we want to renegotiate your contract, so we'd like to extend you, to have you here for another year. I said, okay,
Yeah.
well, let's talk about the first 6 months that you owe me,
Mm-hmm.
that you didn't pay me while I was waiting. We have
Yeah.
this. Oh yeah, no, I don't think we're going to be able to do that. I said, oh, well, that could be a problem. He said, well, come on, we really want you to stay. We want you to stay. We want you to extend the contract, so make it a year contract and pay me a little bit less and have me teach a little bit more.
Okay.
So I was like,
Think this
yeah, no,
that does not sound so great.
no. Let me think
Uh-huh.
about it for a second. No.
Yeah.
So I went out, and that afternoon I had two other jobs in the same city. It wasn't difficult for me to find
Mm-hmm.
something, but organizations there, Bursa Türkiye. It's,
Okay.
you know, so yeah. So I ended up in another school, and within a few weeks, actually, I met my wife. Well, she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't my wife then.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Did she work there too, or?
No. I got roped into doing this conversation club. Like I was teaching
Mm-hmm.
regular classes, and they asked me to do this conversation club one evening a week,
Mm-hmm.
where working professionals just come to the school just to practice their English. Right? It's
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
class or anything, so I just give them topics and get them to talk. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And she came to one of those.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And well, she didn't come to one of those. She signed up for the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we hit it off right away. And I said, I think she was there for about 2 weeks. And I told her that she might have to cancel her membership or whatever, because I'd like to see her outside of class. And she said, well, I paid for the whole month. So she stayed for 2 more weeks.
Okay.
And then we made it official.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah.
And then you stayed for another 8 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it was one of those things because she started the PhD, and we both were of the mind of
Uh-huh.
leaving the country. Like honestly, if I hadn't met her, I would have been gone that summer, right? I wouldn't have
Uh-huh.
stayed.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just wanted to ask, like,
Yeah,
was it ever like a question not to stay there, or
always.
always?
Yeah, yeah. That was one of the things that we had in common, was that we wanted to see other places. We wanted to
Mm-hmm.
go somewhere else, and um, she didn't have the strongest faith in the Turkish system. She worked for the
Sure.
government, so she had a pretty stable, steady job. But yeah, the ceiling was low, or sorry, the ceiling was very, very high,
Uh-huh.
maybe, but impossible to reach.
I feel like I hear that kind of often about the Turkish government.
Yeah, and the current government, actually, they went into power just before I got there,
Ah,
and
okay.
some of the things that they were talking about looked like pretty good ideas to me. But yeah, as time has gone on, I think we found that it's probably less and less Turkish people that really support that government.
That's
Whether
right.
or not,
They're there where you are.
yeah, well, yeah, it's ironic, but it's
Yeah.
true, right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
coming from Germany, you know that there are
Yeah, I have a
huge
good
Turkish
friend. I
populations.
have a good friend here. She's from Turkey, and she is also very anti the current Turkish government.
Yeah,
And so she's very emotional towards the German Turkish people
yeah.
because
There are
they
so
are
many here
so.
that support the wrong people.
And I'm like, you have all the freedom
Yeah,
in Germany, so why don't you want this for your cousins, uncles,
yeah,
nieces, nephews? There, I don't know.
yeah. Well, but you know how politics works, and from what I've learned and what I've seen, just watching America, where you live now,
Mm.
it's 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 amazing to see how. I heard a sociologist talking about this, and um, the rural communities. One of the bigger things there is loyalty,
Yeah, yeah,
and people are loyal to their party
I know.
no matter what.
Yeah,
And it's unfortunate that they have a two-party system because you can only be loyal to this guy or that guy,
I know,
or
and
this
it's
party or
funny.
that party.
It's funny, and the parties within changed so much within the last 50 years, but
Yeah,
just what you vote for now is something completely different that you voted for 3 decades ago.
yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
But the American system is I was going to say flawed, but that's too nice of a word.
Mm,
There's another one that starts with F, but
yeah.
it's the system is. I mean, they have a general election, and you have the popular vote, but then you have this electoral college.
I know. It's like, why do you even have the popular vote? Why?
There's no
I don't
reason
know.
for it. There
It
is
I
no
don't know.
reason for it. Yeah,
Not anymore.
no.
I maybe it was logic when they started it, but I feel
Well,
like,
yeah, because there were very small states,
yeah,
small in population,
yeah.
and they were, concerned that the big cities would get everything they wanted, and nobody else would get what they wanted. So they said, okay, well, we'll divide it up like this then. Yeah.
But not so united,
The
kind
best laid plans of mice and men.
of.
Yeah.
Do you So you said you want to stay in Germany for another 5 year, no, 3 years
At
until.
least, at least
Mhm.
till then, yeah, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't have somewhere that I would rather be right now. You
Mhm.
know, I don't, I can't say that off the top of my head because it's great here. Like I said,
What do you like? What do
um,
you really like? And
well, for one thing, like I said, that work life balance,
mhm, yeah.
it can be frustrating, but also rewarding. Like I came from a country where everything is open on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Mhm.
you know here nothing is open on Sunday.
Did you get used to it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
And
easy.
how do you find it?
It's not a problem, and for me, I think it reinforces that work-life balance. Like, this is a day where, we're going to spend it with the family. We're going to do something, at home or together outside.
You rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I didn't have too much difficulty adjusting to it. What I do find quite humorous, though, is when we have a day like just Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's the
Independence Day.
Yeah. Well, it's not Independence Day.
And
It's Unification Day.
yeah,
Or,
Unification Day. Yes.
yeah. And that day, is a holiday, so nothing's open on that day.
Mm-hmm.
And Monday afternoon, Monday after work, people are buying stuff like it's the end of the world.
And it's just one day.
And it's one day. At Christmas, it's even crazier.
Well, I think Christmas is probably similar in all the other places too. But I don't know. Yeah, for one day, it's weird. Maybe, yeah. I can see that. Especially, maybe it's because it was on a Tuesday and nobody had anything home on Sunday. So they had to
but
stock
it's the
up.
same thing if it's a Saturday or if
Right?
it's a
Yeah, it shouldn't
Monday.
be.
It's the same thing. Yeah. And shops close early on Saturdays here in Freiburg.
Right.
They do anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
at 6,
1
or
o'clock.
even what, at 1?
Yeah, a lot
At
of
1?
shops in my neighborhood. Yeah, like the
Oh.
pharmacy, the post office, the kiosk. These places close at 1 o'clock on Saturday.
Oh, I thought they changed that already in the 90s.
Not in Freiburg, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, or at least in my neighborhood.
Huh. But in the city, the shops are open longer, right? The stores,
Yeah,
the bigger
downtown.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, but they still close 6 o'clock, maybe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they're not open till 9 or something like that. But yeah.
And is there anything that you miss from Canada?
From Canada?
Or from Turkey? I don't know.
Well, Turkish food is really good, I have to say.
Yeah.
Germany has adopted the döner.
It's not like the döner, right?
No.
Yeah, but we always go back and then we always stop at the Turkish store's first place.
Yeah.
Get like a döner or a lahmacun.
It's the fast food of Germany.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's incredible.
And it's so hard to get somewhere else.
Yeah. We were in Canada, and we were there for about 2.5 weeks out of the 3 weeks that we were there when we finally saw a shop that said döner. First one that we came to, right? First one. I mean, there are burgers and chicken and pizza.
Everything.
Everywhere. But not so much döner. But a good friend of mine he comes from a Lebanese family, and they had a small little chain of bistros where they served doner and lahmacun, and not lahmacun, but similar Middle Eastern treats.
Yeah.
So I had tasted them before, and I knew of them, but there are so few places like that there. It's amazing. Big difference here.
Yeah.
But from what I miss of Canada, I miss my family and friends, probably more than most other things.
Yeah.
But I miss some of the places there that I loved, living there growing up. And I miss really good hockey.
Oh, interesting. Do you know where I'm from? We have a ice hockey team.
Which team?
They're called the Roosters.
What's your hometown?
Iserlohn.
Iserlohn. The Roosters. Are they in DL2, maybe?
I don't know.
Or 3?
But I think Göttingen also had one, right? Göttingen had
Kassel had a team.
Ah, okay.
And my son started to play hockey, so we used to go to and fro to Kassel for his training.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they have a team. They made it to the DEL. For those of you at home who don't know what we're talking about, I'm talking about the hockey leagues
Yeah.
in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, the DEL is the Deutsche Elite League.
Oh, I
And
didn't even know it's for elite. I thought it's
yeah,
for ice hockey,
no,
for the
it's,
EES.
yeah, Elite, I believe. Yeah,
Ah, interesting. Okay,
yeah,
so you miss hockey. Okay, I can see that
yeah. And,
because it's
not that I can't skate or play here, but not nearly as freely or easily or as often
But
as I can in Canada.
do you miss playing or do you miss watching?
Well, I missed playing hockey,
Mm-hmm.
and now I have a subscription so I can watch the hockey games
Uh-huh.
from Canada here, right? But yeah, I can't just turn on the TV when I come home from work and watch the game,
Right.
because of the time difference and everything else. It's like, okay, well, if you want to watch the game, it starts at 2 a.m.
Yeah, that's
or you could
that does
watch
not
it
work.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I watch games the day after they've happened quite often.
Mm-hmm. And you
And
already know the results.
no, because I have to really work hard to
Yeah,
not see
not
the score in the sports news,
that's
right?
good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I I know how to do it now. When I look at the screen, I just kind of do this
Uh, okay.
off the top of the screen,
It's
so I
like,
can't see the
hold
scores up there.
my eyes.
Yeah. Got to search, got to click the thing, but don't look at the score. Don't look at the score.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss that. And I think probably, like when I said I miss my friends, I worked like I said, I worked in the entertainment business for a long, long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
And my friends and that work, I would
Okay.
say, probably
Oh,
I
okay.
miss I
Miss
miss the
that work?
biz. Sorry?
Okay. Would you do that in Germany?
It's not so easy. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but in Canada they speak a totally different language.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought they speak the same language in Germany too.
No, not really. No.
Okay, so
Not
do you speak
they're
any German?
cousins. Pardon me?
Do you speak any German?
Ein bisschen. Yeah, I speak a little German, and I know that, like, my wife, she studied because she works with German people,
Mm-hmm.
and she also wants to be able to do things easily. My son became fluent in the first year that we were
Okay.
here because he was 5 when we got here. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but for me, I was much older when we got here, and old dog and new tricks. It's not the easiest thing
Okay.
for me, but also too. And I hope I don't offend you, but German is an ugly language.
I mean, I don't hear it as ugly, but I don't like the German accent.
Well, imagine me living in Baden-Württemberg.
Yeah,
I mean, where you came from, they speak Hochdeutsch, don't they?
they do. Yes, and you
Yeah,
don't probably. Oh, right. They speak that super strong accent and
Badisch.
Badisch, and so if you only, I mean, did you know a few Hochdeutsch, regular
Yeah,
German words when you
yeah, of
moved there?
course, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Okay,
I learned over the time that we were in
right,
Göttingen. I learned the language.
right. But then you had to relearn it
No,
there.
well, I shouldn't say I learned the language. I should say I did my best to understand as much as
Mm-hmm.
I could of the
Yeah.
language, but it's still nothing compared to Schweizerdeutsch.
Swiss
Schweizerdeutsch? The
Swiss
Swiss
German?
German? Yeah, the
Yeah.
Swiss German accent.
I mean, it's like probably as complicated as Badisch, where you are.
Oh, I think it's much worse.
It's much worse. So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's like I always think that, like, it's like you're in the doctor's waiting room, where people are
right. It
clearing
is.
their throat all
It
the
is.
time.
I know one word. The word for kitchen cabinet. It's Huchikastli. You know this?
Harshly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't speak it without spitting on people. I don't know. I don't know
You
how they
gotta
do it.
practice.
Yeah, it's it's I did a couple of stand-up comedy shows in Basel because it's right across the border from here. It's like a half-hour train ride.
Yeah.
And um, speaking with Swiss German speakers, uh, really interesting interesting to try and follow.
So did you do a stand-up then in English?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, because my Deutsch would never. I wouldn't. I would be funny to look at trying to say the words.
It's like, so I gotta
Just
look
do it
at
with the
this guy.
sound
He
off.
doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah,
So in Basel, yeah, he has like an international crowd, kind of.
yeah,
So
very much so.
it was fine to do it
Yeah,
in English.
although a lot of the audience was Swiss or German, so they're still second language audience.
Yeah.
Foreign language audience. So, yeah, for the most part, I was understood. Maybe not as funny.
Yeah. Or you can laugh about it now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I will do more too. I decided one of the things because, like I said, when I left the business, I was planning to go for 5 years,
right,
and then return to
right.
what I was doing before, and I was working towards making my own films and doing that kind of thing. And um, when we were living in Göttingen, I was teaching and trying to figure out what I was going to do, for me,
Right.
As my expression, right?
Yeah.
And so I got involved with the English drama workshop there, and worked on a couple of shows with them. Excuse me, but I realized that kind of opportunity as a performer probably not going to happen. And for me to work as a technician, I could probably learn a lot of the vocabulary for it and probably do okay. But I don't know if you can tell or not, but I'm not a young man anymore. So, and that's definitely a young man's work.
Right.
Working in stage
Right.
and film and that kind of thing. So I thought, what can I do? Well, I can write.
Right.
So that's how I decided to start writing novels.
Okay, so that's a creative output. Nice.
Yeah, hopefully one day they'll make my books into films.
That would be the dream, right?
I'll be able to be on set at least.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and stand-up is also then entertainment, kind of.
Yeah, that's performing, right? I mean, that's as a performer. I started working behind the scenes maybe 10 years into my career, 5 years into my career. I started working behind the scenes more, like as a technician or as a director or as a lighting operator or whatever kinds of jobs. And so I was working towards telling stories on film.
Okay.
And so when I was writing the book, of course, it's a film. If you read it, if you read my book,
What's the name of your book?
I'll type it in the chat because it's an incredibly long title. I hope I didn't.
Something in the Water, Book 1, Drowning. Oh God, is it? I thought it would be like I don't know, positive title.
Well, no, it's a thriller.
Okay.
Can you tell? Can you tell?
Something in the Water, Book 1, Drowning. It sounds very dark.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's about bioweapons.
All right.
And the first book is called Drowning. The second book, okay, your people are going to get a little pre-notice here. The second book is going to be titled Blood. So something in the water, blood. Book 1, something in the water, drowning. Book 2, something in the water, blood. Book 3, something in the water. I'm not going to tell you that. Actually, I haven't thought of the title yet. So.
Okay, but a third one is coming too.
Yeah. actually, yeah, three in this series, one as a side book to this series from the antagonist's point of view. When I was writing, I I I wanted to tell more of the bad guy's story. And in the book, like, there's a main character who's being described as not the most likable protagonist by reviewers.
Okay.
but
Okay.
but that was partly intentional. I have this kind of thing underneath most of my work like that, where I like to get people to ask, who's the bad guy and who's the good guy?
Okay.
You know? So I have a good guy that's kind of bad.
Uh-huh.
And I have a bad guy that, well, maybe he had good reasons
Okay.
for doing what he did. But so, yeah, I like to play on that. And I decided that as a writer, it would be an awesome challenge to see if I can get people to identify with a bad guy as the main character of the book. So we'll see how that one goes. But I have to get a couple of books from the series. I have to get this next one finished, so that, because at the end of this book, I can't tell you that part.
Okay.
Anyway, the antagonist story follows the first two books.
How long does it usually take you to write a book? I was always curious how long something takes like this.
Well, some people can do it really fast. I am not one of those people. The first book, well, I mean, I was writing part-time. I'm still pretty much writing part-time. I'm not a full-time writer.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult.
Yeah, and you also have a job, so
yeah,
and a family,
and a family, exactly.
How was it for you to make friends?
Well, everywhere we've been so far, touch wood, I've managed to meet more native speakers. Not more, but a few native speakers of English from different places. But yeah, when we were in Göttingen, I had a couple of friends that were native speakers. I had a few friends that were Germans. I had a couple of friends that were from Spain, like that. Here in Freiburg, the place that we moved into, of all coincidences, we move into a place and we're there for, I don't know, a week or two, something like that. One day I'm coming home with my son and I hear this, "Hey, when are you coming over for a beer?"
Okay.
And I said, "Tonight." My neighbor who lives right across the Innenhof from our place is from upstate New York.
Okay.
And I have another neighbor in the complex there who's originally from Romania.
Okay.
So yeah, I have a couple of friends right there. I have another friend from Africa, a couple of friends from Germany as well, and a friend from Venezuela, and people. It tends to be my thing. I tend to find more international friends than just German friends.
I have the same. Yeah, it's just easier because you have something in common.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, it's unspoken, right? I mean, you don't say, "It's great to see you, foreigner."
Yeah, no, it's not what you say, but I don't know. It's like maybe can bullshit a little bit about the natives,
Always, yeah.
Yes.
Germans are funny, aren't they? No,
I don't think so.
No, not in the comedy sense. I mean, funny in the peculiar sense.
Maybe.
My mom said it this way. She said there's funny haha and funny peculiar. And there are some interesting things about the way Germans are here.
My husband never. I don't think like he wants to move back to Germany because of their moods. I don't know if you ever had a problem with this, or was it like concerning for you because they tend to be rude?
Germans?
Yeah.
What?
You don't
I'm from
think so?
Canada. Everyone is rude. Everyone
No,
is rude compared to me.
seriously, like I think
Well,
Canadians are the friendliest ones.
yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah, okay. So to you, everybody is
everyone is
rude.
rude compared to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we came back to Freiburg after our holiday in Canada, my son said, "I'm going to have to get used to not being polite again."
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially if you go to like some of the government offices, to
Oh,
any
yeah,
amt. Oh my God.
yeah, but they don't have to be polite.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like going here to the DMV. They're not friendly either, but
Yeah,
usually they are friendly. When I moved first to the US, moved to California, and to me, everybody was so friendly.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
but we were in San Francisco, and I was like, "Oh my God, everybody's so friendly here." And then you got over this, and then we're like, those tech people, they're the worst. They like robots. So then we moved to the other side of the base to Oakland, and I was like, all the tech people disappeared. Everybody's so friendly. And then like we moved to Texas, and I was like, oh my God, how friendly can people be? They're
really, eh?
so nice. Yes. And
How y'all doing?
yeah.
How y'all
How
doing?
y'all doing? Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
They're and I mean like, but when I go back to Germany, I did not have the experience that they're super rude, but I think it's also because I am not going to, I don't know, do not interfere in their like job or like in their commute or
yeah.
not go into any of the offices or anything.
It's more, but it's not so much that they're rude. It's that they don't care.
Ah, okay.
They don't really care if you're having a good day or not.
Are they having the facial expression? It's like
Yeah,
so serious all the time.
yeah. Not everyone. The RBF, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone has that,
Yeah.
but most people look like they're serious all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and of course we know, the jokes about the German sense of humor.
There is not.
I'm still looking. I'm
Yeah.
I'm I haven't given up, but I'm
Yeah.
still looking. They do. They have a sense of humor, but it's Schadenfreude. You know?
Schadenfreude, yes, but it's
Yeah,
so great.
yeah. So it's you know, it's like the definition of comedy and tragedy. Comedy is you're standing on the street and you watch a guy fall flat on his face.
Yeah.
Tragedy is when it's you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in Germany, there's a lot of comedy, but just that kind.
Yeah. Just that kind. I mean,
Yeah.
ah,
No, I find it. It's it's probably I don't know if it's people are being guarded, people are being protective of their personal space and their identity and everything, or what it is. But yeah, in Canada, people are open to smile and say hello
yeah.
to a stranger, right? You do that here, and people look at you like, "Huh?
It's like, what are you smiling at?
Look at
What's
me."
the reason?
Yeah. Why are you
Like, do I
happy?
have something on my forehead?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
But I find here, like in Canada, well, there's two words that I'm pretty sure there isn't a direct translation for German. Customer service.
Yeah.
There's no such thing
No.
in Germany. No. It's it's just not done.
Yeah.
When you go into the shopping center and they have a big dolly and a crate and a pallet of stuff that they're putting on the shelf
Mm-hmm.
right in the middle of the aisle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't actually shop in that
That's your
aisle.
problem.
Yeah. I'm doing my job, man.
Yeah,
What do you want?
exactly. Do like you go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Would you so you said like you're not sure if this is like your final destination?
Yeah, not sure at this point, but I can say, like I said, it's a pretty comfortable place to live,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty sure that if I can make a few things go artistically here
Yeah.
to keep me happy, you
Mhm.
know, then yeah, I wouldn't see any real reason to leave.
Mhm.
I mean, the climate is awesome compared
Yeah.
to the rest of Germany,
Mhm.
um, and the people are decent, you know, and everything is clean and well organized
Yeah.
and easy to find, and
Yeah, you don't need to worry about anything really.
yeah, yeah. Life here is pretty straightforward.
Yeah. And what about your wife? Would she's also open to moving somewhere else or?
Not really sure. I mean, at this point, she just took a permanent full time position with a government research
Okay.
institute. So maybe not right away, but I don't
Right.
know at this point. I don't know what she would think
Right.
about relocating again.
But
Maybe retirement.
nothing
She
in the near
probably
future, so
no, I
yeah.
wouldn't say so. Yeah, she probably would like to go back to Turkey if the economy there ever recovers, if they get
Right.
rid of
It's bad at
the
the
current
moment, right?
governments,
Mhm.
you know. Yeah. Yeah, we own property there, and the value of the property has gone up, but the value of the currency has gone down.
Oh, so it doesn't make
So
any sense. I mean,
yeah,
it's like same.
yeah. Well, it's actually worse now. Like
Yeah, okay.
it's like investing in a startup and having the startup go belly up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are the first guest I have on my show that moved with the whole family, or at least with kids.
Aha.
So I was wondering if it was a little bit more, or if you were more hesitant to move with a little child.
No, because a little child, especially the small children, they can adapt so easily to culture, language, anything. My son, we came here, my son was 5 when we got here.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of his first year here, he was pretty much fluent in German. He just didn't
Mm-hmm.
have all of the vocabulary that the other kids had because he hadn't been growing up with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he sounded like a German.
Okay.
People thought the parents and teachers were surprised when they found out that we didn't practice German at home
Oh,
because
okay.
he's like a native speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for little kids, absolutely easy peasy. And I recommend it. I think that that's the best time that you can do
Yeah.
something like that when they're small. Like
Yeah.
before school, ideally, you should be able to do more with a small child. But when they're at that school age, their world just, expands so
Mm-hmm.
much. And in our home, we already spoke 2 languages when we came here. Um, so for him to have fluency in 3 languages, and he's studying French and Spanish too, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's I would definitely recommend it to people. We would have gone more, but uh, we, like I was saying before, we decided that Germany was a pretty good place to stay. We were
Mm-hmm.
thinking that we were going to spend 3 years here, 3 or 4 years, and then go somewhere else. And at that time, Ozan would only be, 7 or 8,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And thought, it would still be easy for him to adapt in a new place. Now he's 15, though.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Would he still come with you, or would he say like, "Hey, let's wait 2 more years and I would stay here"? Because like for
Well,
him, it's probably like home.
yeah. Well, did I tell you that we were going to move to Bayern?
No.
No. Well, this past spring, my wife got a job offer for a full-time permanent position with the research institute. She works for the government.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? I work for the government.
Yeah.
But she got an offer for a full-time permanent position, and she really wanted to take it. But the problem was that it's way over in Bayern. You grew up,
Mm-hmm.
didn't you say you grew up in Bayern? No,
In
you grew up
North.
in, yeah,
I
you
grew
grew up
up
in
in
North.
North
Yeah,
Rhine-Westphalia.
that's right. Yeah. But um, if you know where Freilassing is,
No.
do you know where Salzburg, Austria is?
Yes.
That's the closest big city
Okay.
to
All right. So,
where we
okay,
would be
very
going.
rural then, I
Yeah,
guess. Yeah.
and when the idea first came up, she said, "I got this job and it's pretty good, and I think we should go." And my son was like, "Sure, I could use a change." When he was
Mm-hmm.
14,
Mm-hmm.
just probably that week was not a good week
Right.
for him and his friends or something. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Yeah, I don't need to stay here."
Mm-hmm.
So we went for a scouting mission. We took a week and went and visited the area
Yeah.
and toured around and went to some of the schools that could be possible schools for
Yeah.
him. And the system is a little bit more difficult,
Mm-hmm.
and the place is a lot more remote.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were back for a week or 2 weeks after that little scouting mission,
Yeah.
and he told me, "I don't want to go."
Okay.
And I said, "Great, because I don't want to
Okay.
go either."
Okay, good. So two against one.
Yeah,
All right. Uh-huh.
but we've been able to work it out. She's got it's kind of like 2 weeks there and 2 weeks home office.
Okay, so she's commuting.
Yeah, so she's going
Mm-hmm.
back and forth. She's just got a new apartment over there, and actually she's going tomorrow for
Mm-hmm.
her 2 weeks. Will start tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, and she's in the process of getting furniture and stuff.
All right, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, all of that, not really a thing for a 14, 15-year-old boy.
Right.
He's got a girlfriend, so forget it.
Okay, sure. That's hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
When they're teenagers, their social world is so much more important than when they're 8 or 9 or 6 or 7 or
Exactly.
5.
That's what
Right?
I always say too. It's like if
Yeah,
we move, we should do it before middle school.
yeah, absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Because once they hit puberty, the world is a different place.
Yeah, it's a lot harder for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, what would you consider your home?
That's an excellent question. I mean, Canada will always be home for me,
Mm-hmm.
and Calgary will always be my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I've now lived away from there for almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, home is where the heart is, as we say.
I know, yes.
um, I I don't. I mean, it's home is kind of a state of being, right? And for me, where I am is home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. Freiburg's I think it's a good city to call home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I, you know, if I win the lottery, um, maybe I'll think of another place as being home. But
Okay.
Canada will always be home, and Calgary especially will always be home. I'll
Mm-hmm.
never stop being a Calgary Flames fan, because
Mm-hmm.
it's hockey, and I'm Canadian, so yeah, yeah, and that part of the world is beautiful too, So
Yeah, for me, it's weird sometimes when I go back to Germany. It's like, sure, like this is where I grew up, this is where my family is.
yeah,
But it also just feels a little bit strange because, like, you haven't been there in so long.
right, yeah,
So it's not like you're somehow connected, but also like you live so far away, and so you're not like part of that anymore. But even
Okay,
it will
yeah,
always be, but
yeah. Well,
it's
I
weird.
wouldn't say I don't feel that way. I mean, when we went back, I was completely at home. I
Okay.
mean, in spite of the fact that my city has grown so much
I
since I
bet.
left, it's grown about 400,000 people since I left, if you
That's
can
big.
imagine. Um, and, roads change and new buildings are up and
Mm-hmm.
neighborhoods are popping up
Up.
all over the
Yep.
place. So it looks different and it feels different too because there are a lot more people and um, and there are a lot more people from all over the world there. Like
Mm-hmm.
immigration has gone up like crazy, especially in my part of Canada. I
Okay.
just read an article. 180,000 people came to Alberta last year, my home province.
Oh wow. Okay.
Moved there, right? Like not visited, but
Just
moved
one
there.
year? That's crazy.
Yeah, in a year, 180,000 people.
Because Canada doesn't even have that many people.
Well, there's about 40 million people there, I guess now.
Okay, but it's just a
But yeah,
big country.
well, yeah, and that 180,000 people, so many of those people are in the cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also saw, like in a small town, operating a gas station or something like that, people that are immigrants that they've arrived. I asked the one fella, I said, "How long have you been here?" He said, "I've been here for almost 2 years now," and it's like, wow, amazing to see how much more diversity there is
Mm-hmm.
there now. Used to be all just white people.
Right. Right.
Now it's people from everywhere. It's
From
so cool.
everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Good. These were my extra questions.
That's it.
And that was it. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
So you
Well,
have more time now with your family. Sorry to keep you away.
no, no, no. They're at home. I left the house. I came back to the office to just
Ah,
so that I had the same place. And
I thought your office is inside your home.
no, 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 no. I have
Ah,
a separate
okay.
office. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Fancy. Nice.
yeah. Well, I have to have a separate office. At first it was going to be useful for my teaching online,
Mm-hmm.
but really, what it
All right. Thank you for listening to this episode. And as I mentioned earlier, you can find his book in my show notes. And yeah, I will see you next time. See you soon. Bye bye.